Well, hey, everyone. This is Dr. Crystal Richardson. I am here with the beautiful Ava, and we are here to celebrate and talk about Women's History Month. And it started out with Women's History Day back in, I think it was like 1911 or so. There, it's like a long time ago. And it went to a week, and now it's at a month. So we are celebrating this year within Women of Impact and Innovation International, as well as Innovative Leaders Network. And I want to just welcome Ava and have a little conversation about a few things for Women's History Month. So, welcome, Ava. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Awesome. So, go ahead and introduce yourself, and then we want to really just jump into what you were already saying before we got on about your mom and your grandma. So, go ahead and
Yeah.
introduce.
So my name is Eva Scott. I am originally from Spain. Grew up in the Barcelona area. Spain is a country that produces really tremendous women, and contemplating just the idea of women and our part in history. What I came to the realization is that we have more opportunities now and more choices than ever before. And I stand on the shoulders of some incredible women. My grandma Carmen, my mother Gloria, my abuela, sadly passed away, but at 99. But she always wanted to be a doctor or have some professional endeavors in her life, and she was not offered that. She didn't even have the opportunity, like women in her. She was born in the 1900s, so in Spain, torn by war and just a really difficult, sort of. She was kind of like a child bride, married to a general at like 16. I mean, it was just a very tragic story. I think she was the first woman that got a divorce in Spain. It was not even allowed to get a divorce, right? And just how she was always talking about, have your independence, have your own income, have your own um, skill sets, read, be educated. She's like drilling that into me. My mother was born from this failed marriage, and she was not given the opportunity to go to college. Her brother was sent to Europe for studying, and she was just. My grandpa said, "Well, why would I spend money on your education? You're a woman. You just need to marry and have kids." And so she did. She got like a little secretarial job at a government agency, and got married to my father, who's a lawyer. And then I remember she went to college when we were all already born. She would she would have us go pick her up at the university. So for her to go to college was like an afterthought. She had to do that while she had three kids, a job, and I admire that on her. And she told me, just go to college, get your education before you even have all your kids, because it's going to be really a lot more difficult. But she didn't have that opportunity to get a higher education paid for, or even contemplate that while she was young. She had to do it later. Um, she got a divorce. I think she was married almost 27, almost 30 years, like 27 years. She got a divorce as well, and to my dad. I was already married. And then she told me one thing. She goes, Ava, the ones that are building me up and wiping my tears and packing my boxes and helping me move and get an apartment and you sort of reorganize my life are my friends, my girlfriends. So do not be that kind of person that neglects those female friends. So always make time for your friends in life, because who knows, you're going to need those friendships at some point in your life. And I did. I helped I always make time for women. Women are powerful. Women are, you know, life changing in their families. And so, yeah, I learned the value of education. I have a college degree, two college degrees. Actually, 3. And I learned the value of having the time in your life to really do everything that you want to do. I took some time off to be a mom because I had 4 kids and there was no way I could work. But I tell people you can have everything that you want in life, just not all at the same time. So I said there's a time and a season for everything. So just the fact that we have so many options these days, as women, we have the option to go for a higher education, to go for that job, or to not, or to stay home and watch the kids and then go for a job later. Like we have all these options that maybe were not available when women, back in the day, when if you were raised
Right.
in the 40s and 50s. So, and I come from a very traditional country, Spain, and I do value the fact that being a mother is very important, but there's more after that. There's more. Just talked to my daughter this morning, and so proud of her, and I've given her every opportunity to do whatever she wants to do, paid for her college and everything, and that's what we need to be as women. We need to support each other. We need to build each other up, and we need to understand that we live in an era of endless opportunities and endless options for us. And so just understand that we have built on the shoulders of a generation that maybe did not have those opportunities, maybe did not have that chance to go for what they wanted in life, and to also course correct. Like I tell people I'm a recovering attorney. I went to law school and then I realized this is not what I want to do. I want to do finances, because as I always say, there's no freedom without financial freedom. You have to have financial freedom. Freedom opens a lot of opportunities and options for women. So anyway, I wholeheartedly believe that we are at an era that we do not need to be like men. Okay, a lot of the feminist mystique is that we needed to be like men. You can be powerful and be feminine, and you can be powerful and choose to stay home for 10 years and raise kids. You can be powerful and pour into those children. You can be powerful and choose not to have children, and maybe be a wonderful mentor to your nieces and nephews, and then you maybe be a mentor to young women that are aspiring to get into your industry. There's a lot of ways, shapes, and sizes for being a powerful woman these days. There are so many options, and I am grateful for those women that sacrifice so much to make me who I am. And I want to be a voice to empower other women to know that people are watching you. People are watching what you do, who you are, what you say,
Right.
and you have to be powerful, and you have to be consistent, and you have to be humble too. Humility, and you have to be relying on the Lord, and just have Heavenly Father just guide me. What am I supposed to do? Who am I supposed to influence? What am I supposed to say or be or do? Always have that in your heart. Have a prayer in your heart for guidance,
Mhm.
and we live in a world of opportunities, great opportunities, great opportunities, and yeah, some opportunities that maybe our mothers and grandmothers did not have. So yeah, I'm glad that we get a whole month, Women's History Month.
Right. Right. And just to be able to honor those that brought us up, like you're saying, your mom and your grandma, and being able to honor
Yeah.
them on today, I think is amazing. The theme this year is moving forward together, women educating and inspiring generations. And so based on that, hopefully we'll get her back. We've been having some technical difficulty this morning, but based on that, what Ava did was to honor the generations that came before her, giving us a story about her grandmother and what she went through, as well as her mom, and how she is now pouring into her daughter and to her family. And so we really appreciate her being on with us today. We have several other people that will be on later on to give honor to a few of the women that are in their past that have really just been able to inspire them to be who they are on today. And then on tomorrow, we have a full slate as well in the morning of women that will be on to share related to Women's History Month. And so if you are a woman and want to share with us as well, there are still a few days left in this month. The 31st is on Monday. And we can also have where we get you on to share. We would love to have you. And so we thank you for that. It looks like she's back. Hey, Ava.
Hey. Sorry, I just connected to the Wi-Fi here. So I think we have a better connection now. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries at all. I was just saying how you went back several generations and then how you are pouring into the next generation, into your daughter and your family. And so that was really a generational tour, which is great because that's what this theme is for this year, is related to inspiring generations. And you were truly inspired by your mom and your grandmother. So what do you have to share with us? Because this spotlight is on you today. What do you have to share with us as far as tips on how women can continue?
I would, if I would give an advice to women right now, I would always encourage you to follow your heart. Do not do anything that you don't want to do. I mean, I know we have to be disciplined and wake up and exercise and eat right. All those things. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fact that it is okay to say no, because when you say no to something that doesn't serve you, you make space for that very thing that is gonna be right for you. A lot of the times, my problem has always been to people please. And no, the only thing you have to please is yourself. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and you talked about self-talk, and 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 women, we're very hard on ourselves, right? Um, but imagine, be very careful how you talk to yourself. Be kind, give yourself grace. Um, when you make a mistake, just stop and say, well, what am I supposed to learn from these? What am I supposed to, what lesson am I taking away from these? Imagine if you were locked up in a room all day with a bully telling you that you're not enough, that you fall short, that you're ugly, that you have too much hips, that you're like, I don't know, stretch marks, or that you're inconsistent, or that, oh my gosh, and this is a lot of what we women do to ourselves, because that's your inner voice. Your inner voice is your bully. Change that inner voice and make that bully into your biggest fan. Laugh at yourself. If you trip, if you forget something, if you make a mistake, like, oh my word, well, look at me. Because, women, we are multitaskers. I remember when I started my career in financial services, I had just decided to go back to work full time. I had a kid in kindergarten, two in middle school, no, two in elementary school and one in middle school. And the first year I worked for that broker dealer, I earned the top producers trip. And my husband's like, wait a minute, you did what? Like, he just sort of like supported me, but he was traveling and he was busy, and he thought, oh, she's doing this little thing, selling financial products, insurance, whatever. And then I started taking him year after year after year on these fabulous, all expenses paid trips with my broker dealer for top producers, and the qualifications kept going up and going up, and I just kept meeting the quotas and meeting the quotas, and right now my income is not only like the lifestyle income. It's pretty much my income, is paid for colleges, and it's paying for for a lot of the essentials, my husband's now taking a break from corporate. Well, he was a government contracting, and right now with the atmosphere in the government contracting arena, he's decided to open his own company. So it's been my income that's been paying for everything for the last like 6 months, right? So at the end of the day, you need to be equally yoked with your husband. He respects you, but he will truly, truly respect you even more if you are helping him in carrying the load. Men have a heavy, heavy load on their shoulders to provide and to protect. Um, that I didn't appreciate that when I stayed home with the kids and he was the sole breadwinner. We've gone full circle, you know, and at the end of the day, you have to have something as a woman that you can scale up or scale down as your life requires. Because obviously, your first and foremost focus should be your family. But have something that you can truly scale up or scale down as your needs arise. Um, be in control of your own destiny. Be in control of your income. Don't have anybody with their thumb on top of you, like dictating, you know, where do you live, what car you drive, what lifestyle you need to, when you take a vacation. There's just no way. The entrepreneur life is tough. But there is no way that I could ever have it any other way. Like I could not work for anybody. I could not be on like a salary. Like, don't tell me, you know, what I'm supposed to make. You know, at the end of the day, there is a lot of freedom in being an entrepreneur, but there's also, it terrifies people, right? But
Right. Yeah.
I jumped on it with the support of my husband because, you know, if I didn't make money one month, the bills were paid. But I've scaled it to a level now that yeah, you know, and I'm mentoring new people, new women. I'm a regional recruiter for my company, so I'm mentoring. I just recruited another girl this week who is from Panama, and she goes, listen, because I needed some bilingual people in my team, and I said, she goes, I want to take care of my mother. I want to, you know, she works 2 jobs. She's 60. I want to retire my mother. Her why is so big that I'm going to help her figure out the how. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for people that, and she's already licensed. She's been in the industry, and she was not in the right fit with the right company. So I'm really excited to help her, um, mentor her, and tell her what it is that I do and how I do it to scale up, right? So just that gives me a lot of pleasure to mentor other women, young women into the industry, and just be that person that they can call when they have questions, when they have concerns. Also, you have to work a lot in your mindset. Don't be defeatist. Be always in the question, in the, oh, isn't that interesting? What am I supposed to learn from these? Well, I'm not going to do that again, right? So, yeah, women, we are very powerful. I remember I got engaged in the microloan industry with third world countries. And when you give a loan to a lady in India to buy 2 goats, she'll sell the milk, she'll make cheese, she'll pay for the kids' college, she'll return the loan. Women, everything that if a woman grows financially, it'll trickle down into her family. It will go to colleges for her kids. It will go to, it will trickle down into her family. A lot of the times you give a loan to a guy to open a business, he blows the money, spends it on beer, doesn't give it to the wife. At least that was our experience in India, right? Um, Women, we are very powerful, and we are now pillars in our community, pillars in the financial freedom of our families. We are pillars in the educational gap that we're gonna skip. Our kids are gonna have education. They're gonna have know-how. Maybe entrepreneurial endeavors. I have a daughter who's also an entrepreneur, and And she's created a beautiful, she's an artist, and she's created a beautiful life for herself. Super proud of her. She works at these paint and sip and paint place, and she creates these paintings, and she, so she has, you have to live your life in your own terms, and you don't have to make like multiple six figures. You could, you could be happy at whatever level, um, but just live your life at your own terms. Do what you want to do what you're passionate about, and rely on God, and be prayerful, and be consistent, and success will come. Success is inevitable, guys. Success is inevitable if you're doing the necessary required actions, if you're constantly working in your business and networking and finding out ways to improve your know-how and your skill set and your mindset. um, Women, we are very powerful, and we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. So my friend Crystal, what do you think?
Well, I think this is really great, Ava, how just in this short period of time, you've gone across 4 generations. You talked about your grandmother, your great grandmother, your grandmother, your mother, yourself, and now your daughter. And there's men involved in this too, right? Your husband and your sons. But I
Yeah.
really appreciate how you have spotlighted the epitome of what the theme is this year of moving forward together, women educating and inspiring generations, and how you're also bringing up, and from the educational perspective, other people on your team. You mentioned, there's other people that you really want to teach them how they
Yeah.
can also scale in their business, and
Yeah.
and bring them up, teach them what it is that you do so that they can also have financial freedom to trickle down into their families. And so, yeah, I just want to honor you on today for all of what you do, not just in your family, but also related to your team, which is not just related to your team, it's related to their families and
I
their
know.
generations, the next
Yeah.
generation, the next generation. So all of this is generational, because if we don't have where we put a spot in our timeline to give back, then there
Yeah.
won't be anything in our future. And so the
Right.
fact that that's part of what you're doing in your business as well as in your family, I think it's phenomenal.
Yeah. And women, we struggle with things that men don't struggle with.
Mhm.
Sexual harassment is a real problem. It's still there.
Right, right,
Uh, a lot of women, they almost have to be more capable than men
right.
to to occupy the same space. A lot of women, they don't sit at the table, and they have some idiot guy that just started in the company sit at the table and shoot his mouth off, and yet we're more valuable and we have more to offer, and we hold back. And at the end of the day, don't hold back. Own
Mhm.
your value. Show up. Show up powerfully in your life, and and open your mouth. What you have to say might resonate with other people so much. You don't know who you are inspiring, uh, even by your actions. Your children, especially, they'll listen to you, blah 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 blah, but they're watching you. They're watching you. They're watching how you operate powerfully in your life, how you negotiate, how you deal with um, conflict, conflict resolution. You have to be a strong woman. You have to be assertive, and assertiveness is what makes it different from being the bully to being able to defend a position, or or advocate or enroll people in what you're doing powerfully, but with conviction. So a lot of women suffer from what I call the imposter syndrome, where they don't believe that they can be who they are set up to be, and they feel like they're faking until they make it. And at the end of the day, everything occurs first as an idea of what you want to be: powerful person in your industry, powerful person in your genealogy, create a legacy for your family. It becomes from the idea. You have to first create that idea and that persona, and then walk into those steps and into those tasks that you have. It's okay to fake it till you make it. You can say, "Hey, I am working very hard today to become." Just becoming, the journey is half of the work. And
Right.
not settling for anything that's less than what you want, right? So a lot of women, they settle, or they are quiet, and that's how they kind of taught us, to shut up and be seen but not heard, and that's not at all what we have to do. You can be assertive, and you can be kind, and you could be a good Christian woman, you could be a powerful influence in the next generation, um, and trail a path. My mother trailed a path for me. She told me, yes, you can go to law school. You can do whatever you want. I actually wanted to be a diplomat. I studied French and English. English is my second language, because I wanted to be a diplomat. And then met my husband and kind of changed my road. And I didn't see that as a defeat. I saw that as a detour. And then all the women that I went to college with in law school that chose to become diplomats, they had disastrous personal lives, because when you're a diplomat and you are sent to Nairobi or Bolivia or Dubai, like every 2 years you change your destinies. It is very hard to have a family. Most of them didn't marry until really late, or didn't have kids, or they had like really hard time marrying the job and the family and the motherhood. It was very, very hard. And I didn't have to make those choices. I knew exactly how I wanted my life to be. I wanted to take it in seasons. And yeah, so I realized that was not what I needed to be doing. But then my English came in really handy, because I married an American guy and ended up living in America. So knowledge is really not ever wasted. Anything that you learn in life will come in
Hmm.
handy at some point, right?
Hmm.
So even if you take detours, and 90% of the time we're on course correction in our lives. We're detouring up, course correction, detouring, course correction. It's like a plane. The plane, when they go in the air, most of the time the pilot is course correcting, and because it's you know but you have to be on top of it. If you let it loose, you're never going to get to your destination. So know what you want, know your why, know where you're going, set up goals, and just go for them. And if you set some really ridiculous, outlandish goals and you don't make it, you're still going to do really well, right? Shoot for the moon, and if you're in the stars, you're still really good. So
Hmm.
and give yourself grace, and understand that perfectionism is also an enemy, right? Nobody's perfect. Only Jesus was perfect,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So I want you to go back to, before we end today, I really want you to go back to that bully in the room. We're going to have to use that on something else, because that was really, I don't know if you heard that or came up with it yourself, but that was so powerful, to
Yeah.
say that you're sitting there and all of these different things are coming at you. I want you to kind of go through that again, for us to talk about the mindset of a powerful woman, and how we can really deflate that by having that bully in the room. Can you go back through that again, and we can have an ending discussion on that?
So, so you know how there's an inner talk, incessant chatter in your brain, right? And you have so much power over the language, over the conversation in your head. Um, you have so much power, because when I was home with the kids, um, there was that conversation, that bully in the room that said, "Well, oh my gosh, Ava, you speak four languages, you went to law school, and then you went to, international relations degree in the U.S. Like you did all this college, and here you are, changing diapers." And I remember one time my husband would come from a trip, and he was talking about, these he met with the ministry of Brazil. He was doing a lot of business in Brazil, and the president, like all these like super important people. And what I had to report is like, well, Sophia had a stomach bug and she had diarrhea the whole week, and I was at the doctor's twice, and so Marina keeps forgetting her lunch, and I had to go to the school, like like super mundane, stupid little things. And he was like checked out. He was not listening to me. He was like on another, like on his phone, and I'm like, and I confronted him, like, you don't respect me, do you? And he looked at me and he like stopped in his tracks, because when we started our marriage, we both worked. We were both like even like equally yoked. Like what I'm saying, we're both like super ambitious, and we went to he went he did we both did a master's degree. We went to college together. Anyway, and he looked at me and he stopped for a minute and he goes, you know what? Yeah, I just find this whole conversation very uninteresting. I'm like, okay, okay. We are not what we do. We are. Our value as women, we are God's greatest creation, right? And what we do is noble because we are co creators with Him. There would be no way that our Heavenly Father will bring children into this earth, spirit children, unless we created those bodies for His spirit children to have it, you know, go into those, So, number one, that's the nobility of creating life, of the selfishness of putting yourself aside to do that. And so I had myself to make a huge effort to stop that rattling in my head of, oh, I'm not what I do. This is something that I've chosen to do. I am God's daughter. I'm a queen. I'm powerful. I have a friend who now is one of the busiest modern architects in the entire DC, Maryland, and Virginia. And she also has 4 kids. And she also stayed home with the kids. And she started, while she was a mom, building decks. And some stupid lady told her at a network event, wait, you've gone to architectural school to build your neighbor's deck? And then she went from that to like remodeling a basement, and now she has like 5 crews. She builds multiple homes, $1 million homes. She has her own YouTube network, channel. She is wildly successful, makes millions of dollars. She's retired her husband works for her now. She has a huge staff of people, multiple crews of builders. And and he started with some petty lady telling her, oh, you've gone through a whole 5 years of architectural school to build a deck? Like, what the heck, right? Like, so let's not be that woman that puts down another woman. Maybe that deck building in their basement refinishing was her step into getting back into the workforce.
Mhm, mhm.
Just respect that journey, and don't be the bully from the outside, and don't be the bully from the inside. Talk yourself into, yeah, you haven't gone through, you know uh, law school or these or that college, and but you're changing diapers all day. It's okay. It's okay, because guess what? You chose to be a mother. You chose to be a co-creator with Heavenly Father. And then there's more after that. And He will reward you with a fulfilling career after motherhood. It's okay. So, yeah, that bully in the room, you have to really shut it down. No, 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 no. This is not how you're going to talk. This is not what you're not what you do. You're who you are. You're of great worth and value, regardless of what you do. And yeah, as women, we have to talk to each other better, and we have to talk to ourselves first and foremost. We have to talk to ourselves
Mhm.
powerfully, because it's very easy to get tied up in that self-defeatist, not enough spiral down. There's so many women. I sell life insurance as part of what I do, for financial planning. You have any idea how many women are on antidepressants because they have to disclose medications? I'm like, wait, what? You're on antidepressants? Like, because yeah, women are more susceptible to, you know, anxiety, depression, stuff like that, because we have such huge demands on not just looking good, but doing everything perfect and the clean house and the whatever, you know. Another thing that I also recommend is planned neglect. The other day, my husband was out of town and I made spaghetti for my son. He's super hungry all the time. 18-year-old kid, plays um, lacrosse, so he comes home super hungry. So I made like a big batch of spaghetti, give some to my neighbor that was having a kid, and drop it off and whatever. So here I am doing this great thing, and I'm stressed out because I haven't swept the floor, and there's spaghetti on the floor that fell on the floor, and they're crunchy because they're raw, and I'm stepping on them. And I've had a crazy week. I get out the door quick early, and I'm like, I will sweep the floor when I sweep the floor. It's okay. So right before my husband came back, he was coming in at 10 o'clock at night from DCA, from Reagan International Airport. I'm sweeping the floor and I'm laughing because I'm like, it's okay that I've been stepping on broken noodles all week. It's okay because you know what? You have to prioritize. And the most important thing was to get my work done, to respond to my emails, to do the things that I needed to do this week. Who cares if the floor is dirty in my kitchen? I don't care, right? I don't care. So plan neglect, prioritize, and don't stress about what you don't do. Focus on the things that you do. Have a minute every night before you go to bed of celebrations and gratitude. What are you grateful for that happened today? Are you grateful for that new connection that you made with that person? Are you grateful for, um, you know, witnessing an accident that happened really close to you on the highway and you were able to avoid it? That could have been you. Are you grateful for your health? Did you hear about someone that maybe got diagnosed with cancer, and that's not you? Just pray for her, bring her the meal, but be grateful for the things. There are so many miracles, seen and unseen, that you ought to be grateful for. So gratitude, an attitude of gratitude, an attitude of celebration. Did you close a deal? Did you engage a new client? Did you bring someone else to your team that's going to maybe, bring you money into your broker dealer? Did you just don't forget to celebrate every little bitty thing? Celebrate the fact that you were able to
Mhm.
make a meal for your son on a very busy week, and also make extra to take your neighbor a meal because she had twins and she had to have like reconstructive surgery in her stomach, and you were able to bring her a meal, and her mom who's watching the kids, the grandma was like super grateful. Oh my gosh, this is great. The kids are gonna love it. Thank you. Just, and don't be self-centered. Think about others. Start your day with, Heavenly Father, how can I help someone? How can I lift somebody else up? You know? Usually we are so self-centered that we don't realize the impact that we can have on others. Even just a smile and a hug or a call, a phone call. It means so much to people. So just wake up in the morning like, who am I supposed to uplift today? Who am I supposed to see today? Who am I supposed to be the blessing? Don't ask for blessings. Ask Heavenly Father to be the blessing. How can I bless others today? How can I be a blessing to whom? And God will show you. God will show you. You know, God will
Mhm.
show you if you have that in your heart and in your prayer. And yeah, no, don't be the, touch yourself. Talk nice to yourself. Because your mood and your spirits are so fragile. When you when you have these in your head, like, I can do hard things. Yeah, this is not the hill I'm going to die on. Okay, what am I supposed to learn from these? You can do these, or just the way you talk. Be your own cheerleader. If you don't cheer yourself up, who else is going to? Right? You look fantastic today. You look amazing. Look at you. Just praise yourself. It's not vanity. It's not, uh, but your self-worth begins with your self-talk. Self-talk, positive self-talk every day. I have like this mantra that I repeat. And then from that book, Crystal, that we read, um, Outwitting the Devil by
Yeah,
Napoleon Hill,
yeah,
there was a phrase that I like stood out, that said, "Keep fear, doubt, worry, and all thoughts of limitation entirely out of your mind." Keep fear, doubt, worry, and all thoughts of limitation entirely out of your mind. You should repeat that to yourself every single day. Every single day. Because guess what? Half of the time, 90% of the things that we worry about, they never happen. It is the most unproductive mood that we can ever be in. The fear, the worry, the stress, the anxiety. Uh. Get that out of your head. Because guess what? Most of the times, it's not going to happen. So don't worry about it.
the thing is even if it does happen, like you said, is one of the things you said was, is this the hill that I'm going to die on today?
Yeah.
No, it's
Try
not.
to be the person that can tackle those problems. The
Right.
bigger the person, the bigger the problem you can tackle.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, you've given us some amazing gems today, Ava. I'll be posting some of the different comments in our groups and on our pages so that we can share those, and hopefully people can actually go back and watch the the video that we have today too. But I really appreciate you and all of the nuggets, all of the wisdom, and again, being the epitome of the actual, I don't know if you even know or knew what the theme was, but you hit on every single portion of the theme for this month. Not our personal theme, but the international theme. So that's
Thank
great.
you.
That's great. Yeah.
Thank you for this opportunity to give me a platform to 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 speak to other women. Women are fantastic. Women are wonderful. Women are God's greatest creation. And we
Mhm.
should walk around with that crown tall and high.
Right, right. Amen to that. And so, just to end out with the theme, it mentions moving forward together. So, ladies, as you've heard from Ava today with all of her wisdom, there's various ways that we can move forward together on today and each and every day. So, reach out to someone, take someone a meal, bring someone else up in your business. There were a lot of different things that she said, and specifically related to that bullying that we're going to be taking with us from for days to come. The next part was women educating and inspiring generations. So help to educate someone else, maybe your daughter, maybe your niece, but someone else in your community or in your same business, and inspire generations. You don't know how the one thing that you do will trickle down in that person's life to go from generation to generation. And especially in other countries, she talked about Panama and some other places where it means even more to some of them from time to time. So I really appreciate you, Ava, being on with us today to kick off what we'll be doing. We have several other ladies that are going to be on later today as well as tomorrow. So,
Awesome.
so it's really great. If you have anybody else you want to recommend to be on with us, we can send them the link as well. But anything
Perfect.
else before you go on with your day? Any last comment?
No, just shine bright. Don't hide your light under the bushel. Shine bright
Shine
every
bright,
day.
don't hide your light. You're a poet too. That rhymed. Excellent, excellent. Thank you.
Thank you. Happy Women's Day.
Happy Women's History Month. Take care,
History
Ava.
Month. Bye bye.
Yeah, bye bye. So we want to thank her for being on, and hopefully you were able to get some nuggets out of that. I'm going to play a video from one of our other board members on why she joined Women of Impact and Innovation International. You are welcome to join us. We will be opening up for new memberships starting in April as we get ready for a number of things throughout the summer that we will be doing. And then also our annual summit, which will be around that September, October timeframe. So we appreciate you being on today, and take a listen to one of our other board members right here.
Hi, I'm Nancy Allard. I'm a real estate broker, and I show people how to create true generational wealth by acquiring multifamily units, multi-units. And the reason I chose to join and become a member and an ambassador of WOIII is because this organization, this group is truly about women intent, women's impact, women in innovation. It's about women taking the world to the next level, taking us where we need to be. This organization and the international intent that we have, I'm all about it. Let's take this WOII and the women involved to the next level and help other women around the world to be all that they intended, all that they were supposed to be. I'm Nancy Allard.
So there you saw Nancy Allard, and she is a board member. She's been with us for a number of years in Women of Impact and Innovation International. We have a lot of women that are in real estate and in finance. And so both Ava and Nancy are a part of our Wealth and Investments Board. And so we really appreciate you being on today. And if you want to be spotlighted, we do have a number of spots left on tomorrow. I think there's a couple left. And then if we do need to add another day for the last day of Women's History Month, which is on March 31st, and that is on Monday, we would love, love, love to have you join us and to share a little bit about what God has for you to do here in this world, and how you have helped to shape history and who has helped you from a historical perspective. So we thank you. God bless you. And remember to always love, lift, and lead. And happy Women's History Month. Thank you so much.